have a small request for you. Before we get on to the actual content of today's video, please hit on that subscribe button and do not forget to click on the bell icon so that every time I have something for you, you get notified immediately, and let's keep in touch. 3 years ago, I was forced into a 4-wall room and he was right behind me, which I can still feel. And then he pushed me on the bed and it happened. Yes, I was raped. A 18-year-old young boy exclaimed this. Instance 1, location criminal courtroom, 5 policemen, a young boy. A 18-year-old young guy explains how he turned out to be a drug addict and a serial killer. When he was finally locked up by the policeman, this is how he started. Growing up as a gay in this hostile world could be very dangerous. Everyone in the room had a glare vision at this guy and was surprised to listen to something like this from a serial killer who brutally murdered 21 men, ripped their soul out and chopped them into pieces. As he continues to say, by the age of 15, I was all set to start up a new life. I began to explore what it is meant to be a gay. But that kind of exploration for a 15-year-old kid, I understand, was a not mature decision. Sooner then, I was enthusiastic of what I can do from more of being this kind of person. And then I started to explore these dating apps where I could find a man I could call a perfect man. And yeah, I found one and we started dating. I knew he was a decade older than me, but it was an astounding feeling initially. Only much later, I could feel the difference of domination, abusive words, just a lust feeling over me. And I didn't know what it had to be termed. Is this a relationship? I didn't think so. I was confused. So I thought I would just let go this slowly and maybe find someone better in the later few days. But then this guy started ghosting me. I was forced to do something that I didn't want to. And this happened for a hell of 5 months. And later few days, by the grace of God, this Satan found a new match. Rather, I would say, found another victim to torture. Even though I pity that person, but all I had to do was to get far away from him. And this was the right opportunity. The next day, sitting on the couch, I thought that was one bad experience and why not go chill out with my buddies to forget all of these, is what my heart always kept telling me. So this time, I planned to slunk out of my home to party with my friends nearby the high school campus. And now I was all set to go out and party with my friends. It was late in the evening, and with all excitement, climbing up those lonely stairs, all of a sudden someone grabbed me from behind. I don't know what happened. I was physically restrained. I couldn't see his face as it was pitch dark all around. But all I could say is that I feel that touch. It was the same old man. I didn't know what he wanted from me this time again. But it happened. I was forced. I was begging him to let me go. But all that happened was a brutal rape. And then I was thrown to a corner. I must say, it took the strength and the courage of my life to reach back home. Days passed, a couple of months too. But I didn't want to step out, meet these people, and get back to that cruel world. In fact, I was damn scared. But then I swore myself to keep this incident as a secret. I thought I could bury the past, which merely was not possible. I did try doing this as long as I could. In fact, I started finding something that would just make me feel better. That's when I found the help in alcohol and thought the best way to cope with this was to get some drugs that could make me feel better and forget the world that I live in. For a while, my addictions did comfort me a lot, to an extent. But gradually, there came a time for a long sequence of medicine and treatment, which turned out to be a poison that made me wild and cruel day by day. But I must say, I made sure that the secret remained between the four walls of my room. And to say, my mother was not around. Hence, my addiction started getting worse. But one fine day, my stepfather noticed this. We had a violent fight, and in frustration, I spoke my heart out and had to reveal the secret in between the great argument we had. Being known this, I expected my stepfather to comfort me or make me feel better. But then, this man made it worse and handled into helplessness. Well, in fact, he made me shameful for being a caped person, which was not in my hands. He blamed me for what happened and even started abusing me. That's when I lost hope in my life. And I decided for a suicidal attempt. But before that, my addictions called me for one last time. So I took some drugs and alcohol, as they were the only thing that were by my side when there was no light for hope. That's the night when I had the best sleep in my life. I wake up the next morning as usual, but then, this time with blood all around me. I don't know what happened the last night, but following the blood flow, I saw my stepfather dead. I had a mixed emotional feeling, but I kind of felt happy at that moment because I think he deserved this for supporting a rapist who raped his son. And the only question now running in my mind was, what would I answer my mother? So I took a nasty decision in my life. I packed my stuffs and escaped from the house. And with this incident, I realized that men like this who exist in the world deserve a punishment of death. And I will be the punisher. I will chop them into pieces for playing around with the mind and soul of young kids, because that's what all these men deserve. And yes, killing them made me happy, and you guys are nobody to question me over this. This is how this guy ended. In fact, this criminal words ended like this. With this story, I would like to communicate two important things. a humble request to not to create a negative impact on the young minds, as they are the future of our world. And the second important thing is that men do get physically tortured, harassed and raped. So let's all together fight and raise our voice against for something that's happening wrong in this world.